Howdy friends, it's Tiff and I am here to say that I got approved on Monday for my Sadie surgery. My surgery date is within a couple of months. I'm not going to give the exact date just because things can change, but yeah. I am definitely very excited. I am feeling good. My spirits are high. I've been losing a lot of sleep over this and over just the unknown. But I'm super happy that I did everything I needed to do to get approved. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that and just here to share my experience and hopefully encourage someone that may be considering bariatric surgery to move forward with it, only if you think it's the best thing for you. Definitely not here to try to convince you, but just to kind of, again, lift us up, meaning me and you, and to give some information about everything. So my last video, I was giving information about being scheduled to undergo the endoscopy that is required to take a look at your stomach, upper GI, just to make sure that if you have hernias, that they're being addressed. They're looking for polyps, they're looking for tumors, they're looking for GERD, acid reflux, gastritis, which is inflammation of the stomach, and then also they will do a biopsy for H. pylori. And H. pylori is a bacteria that people carry. That could be a whole video on its own, but I will just say this. If you do test positive for H. pylori, you'll be on a course of antibiotics for about 2 weeks. So in my case, I got to the hospital at about 5:30 Friday morning. They took me up immediately, made me do a pregnancy test. They asked me when the last water I had was, asked me if I'd taken medicine, asked me if I'm diabetic, to which I said yes. So they did my blood sugar, and that was running high, but that was because I'd been without my medicine for over a week at that point. Like, they made me stop taking my medicine because I would have had food in my stomach on procedure day. So they made me do a pregnancy test. They did my blood sugar. I have very small veins, so I'm an absolute nightmare to draw blood or give an IV to. The nurse actually called for ultrasound to come and help, and they never showed up, but the anesthesiologist was so sweet. She actually came, and like the minute she showed up, immediately a good vein just popped up in my arm. So I had been stuck in my hand and nothing was happening, but they found a vein in my arm and were able to give me my IV. My husband came back in the waiting room with me, and we talked and laughed, and my doctor came back and signed off on the paperwork. And then they made me take off my clothes. They told me to leave my underwear on, so in my mind, underwear meant all of it. But then they told me they needed to put stickers on my chest, and I still had my bra on, so I had to undress and take that off. And then shortly after that, they wheeled me back to the procedure room, and I was freaked out because it's kind of scary in there. Like, all that shit's just metal, and like, it looks like a lab. And I felt like I dissected a small animal in middle school, and I'm ashamed to say it because I just don't do things like that. but I felt like that's exactly what was gonna happen to me. So they wheel me out of one room, wheel me to the next. There's like 6 people in this room. This girl, or nurse, I'm sorry, I don't mean to call her a girl. She gives me a mouthpiece that is basically flat, and it is like a round circle, and it's a little longer in the back, and she tells me to bite down on it to protect my teeth, and she's so sweet. She's like, I know this is scary looking, but this is to protect your teeth. Next thing I know, there's a doctor standing in front of me with what looks like a garden hose with a camera on the end of it because of the light. And then they told me to roll over on my left side, and I did, and I was out. Anesthesia for me, the best way for me to describe going under anesthesia is it's just a blank space. I didn't have a dream. I didn't have anything. I was just out. So I woke up in the recovery room and I was boo-hoo crying like a baby. Like I felt bad for the nurses because I was just inconsolable, like would not stop crying, and I was asking for my doctor, but my people explained to me that it's normal to cry coming out of anesthesia, and I also didn't know where I was. So there was that. The nurse said there was some mild gastritis found in my stomach, and that the biopsy had been done for the H. pylori, but everything had gone really smoothly. So my dumb panicking ass spent all of my weekend being completely freaked out that, oh, I'm gonna have to go on meds for gastritis, and I'm gonna have H. pylori. I've had H. pylori, and if you look up H. pylori again, that could be a whole video in and of itself. It's pretty serious shit. Like, it's definitely something that if you think you have it, or if you're told you have it, get that shit treated, because it can lead to stomach cancer. Like, it's no joke. Anyway, so my appointment was on Monday. I go in, I weigh in for the last time. I gained 4 pounds. And that was in spite of I've been in the gym. I've been doing all the things. And yeah, just that's where my body's doing now. So I have my appointment and I just asked, like, well, am I cleared? And they told me I'm cleared, and they submitted to my insurance, and I have to take one more class. And I told them I've been taking the Unjury Cares group every Wednesday. As a matter of fact, we have one tonight. I'm gonna log in a minute here. I've been going to Overeaters Anonymous because I've always known my relationship with food is not good. Since I was itty bitty, food's been my friend. I've spent a lot of time by myself and alone, and I don't really tend to make friends very easily. So I accept that food was my comfort. So now my entire relationship with that has changed, but I got my diet, and I thought I was getting off because the doctor's like, oh yeah, you just do a week liquid diet. I'm like, oh shit. I get a whole week. Or there's people that are on liquids for like a whole month pre-op, and then he's like, oh no, you're gonna go on a super low carb whole foods diet. And I took a workshop last weekend where the beautiful woman running the program advised like that I could do the liver, because the liquid diet is to shrink your liver, because your liver lays on top of your stomach. And most people who are obese have fatty liver disease. And if your liver is in the way, it can get cut by the robot. And then that's a whole set of problems that I don't want. So she told me I could ask the doctor if I could do it with food, and he told me no. So I'm still in Shake City. I did find a shake I like that is clean. It doesn't have dextrose, maltitol, maltodextrin, sucralose, all horrible, not good things for you. But I got that. I've started just kind of preparing myself. I'm looking at scheduling some IV appointments after surgery, because I know it'll be hard for me to eat and drink. And I'll want those vitamins. They told me I could start taking my bariatric vitamins that I will be on for the rest of my life. So I haven't quite started those yet, just because I'm really doing my research and trying to figure out which ones will be the best ones. And it's not really something I want to like experiment with too much, because they're expensive. They're like 30, 40 bucks a bottle. So, and I have to take 4 a day. So it adds up. But, you know, I'm just really proud. I'm just really proud. And although I'm scared because it's a big change, I'm just so happy that I have access and the ability to take care of myself in this way. Like, what a blessing to be able to get help. Like, for so long, I just have felt like I was in the woods by myself, and that something was wrong with me, and that I was broken, and, you know, that I was doomed to be heavy, and just have to accept living in a body that, while I love myself, living in a body I don't necessarily like too much all the time, right? I love movement. I love dancing and pole dancing and aerial, and my body, while it's so capable and so strong, the weight makes things so hard for me. And I'm just so blessed and happy that I have the chance to experience those things and get my life back. I've been a type 2 diabetic for quite some time, and that is hard. Like, I deal with some pretty severe issues with my diabetes every single day. And sometimes it's absolutely embarrassing and humiliating. And it's something that I have a lot of shame about, because I feel like if I had made better choices, I wouldn't be in this situation. But through like all of the groups and the doctors and other people I've met on my path, like, I accept it's not me. It's not me. There's so many things that go into a body and go into somebody's weight, and obesity is the only condition that people will immediately shame someone for. And the shame has been heavy. The shame from other people and the shame from myself has been heavy. But I'm just grateful that I'm getting a second chance and I get to do it all over again. And thank you so much for watching. Please reach out if you have any questions, leave some comments. I definitely am going to make more informational videos as the process goes along, but I thank everybody that's been by my side and been supportive of me as I've tried to get my clearance and approval. So thank you. I love you. Stay safe and love one another.